Hi, YouTube. I hope you're all doing good. I'm doing okay, not too bad. I think we have snow coming in. It says on my computer that there's snowflakes. It is dark out right now. I didn't turn on the light and go look, but I was on a live stream over at Super Dave 44 and welcoming people in. I'm a moderator over there. And then he asked if people wanted to come on a panel and live stream. And I would have liked to. I need to set my desk up a little bit different to do that because I have to have my earbuds in, so I can reach what I'm doing and talk, and then would be able to speak about what my channel's about and what I do over here and the connections that I'm making with other people and you know that type of thing and why you know. So some of it's for entertainment, and most of it is for the seriousness of what's going on in the world right now. And I am going to share a Lionel Nation that was exceptionally good today, talking about traditions of people in our lives and, wherever we are in the world, you know. But Um, I shared it in my community. I have an attorney friend that watches me and his wife, so you might really enjoy if you're not familiar with Lionel Nation. I'm gonna put his link. He's also a musician and he's also a media analysis. And he used to work in New York for it was Russian American. I can't remember the name of that. It was a news outlet. It might come to me after a while, but that's no longer a thing. So, but geez, I wish it would come to me. But anyway, he would like RA America or something like that. I maybe somebody knows, you can let me know, but I used to watch it all the time. And then they just analyze what was going on in the world. But geez, I wish I could remember. Oh well, I am not going to strain my brain. I did fog it up a little bit last night. I did have a very large eggnog with brandy in it. And so I ended up having about, well, just a little over 2 shots, maybe three, in a very large eggnog. And I made Doug one, and then there was enough for him to have another half a very large one. And then he put some extra in there. So he slept well. So did I, actually. That's what brandy will do, is really make you relaxed. It's like, that's why a lot of people will have it like a after dinner type of um like in a brandy snifter. I've got one of those, a very antique one. And I've got some really antique sherry glasses and some other really nice, like crystal type stuff. So that I don't use. So anyway, I have used it. I've got like all different kinds of glasses for all different kinds of things. So even china for a tea set, a tea party that I don't ever have. Then we've got like some Chinese um teapots and another teapot that says tea for two. And I keep that on top of my refrigerator. That's sort of like a Trinity symbol to me and Doug. So he knows it too. So, yeah, that's a good little song. Tea for two, and two for tea and me. for you and you for me. Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. It's a tap dance song. So, cheers, everybody. I guess I'm having a happy new year. you know, it's sad in some ways, but I'm always happy inside every day, regardless. But yeah. So, yeah. But yeah, I was having buffering problems on that live stream, and I had to keep trying to refresh it, and I was trying to talk to people, and it was so annoying. So I went and turned on a Robin's Hood is talking about he's driving through the worst part of Philadelphia that used to be quite beautiful. Well, for inner city, and he's talking about John, Luke, Matthew, and Mark writes about the birth of Christ. And so he's going to go into that. But yeah, that city is terrible. And there's like garbage is overflowing, even if they only pick it up once a day, like outside fast food restaurants with all the loitering and everything. It's horrific. It's maybe getting close to like what if well, it is the worst heroin place in the world. It just is. That's where it is. That city needs so much help. It needs public bathrooms that have showers and laundry facilities and dumpsters. And in fact, on the outskirts of the city, there should be big, like, army wall tents that are heated with showering facilities, or a big, like, a armory they should open up for all these people, whether they have drugs on them or not. Get them off the street, you know, because they're that's got to be a nightmare for them, you know, being addicted to something so horrific. I've seen all kinds of addicts working with them, and it's really horrible. They have actual. It's a living nightmare. You know, not something I've ever done or would ever care to do. But I mean, I've thought about taking my life in the past. So if they're trying to escape pains in their life or whatever, or just did it for fun to start doing something like that, there's many reasons, I'm sure. You know, some people are just born in the wrong spot, in the wrong environment, or they're adopted and took into it. Yeah. Anyway, for my new people here, brand new, I'll get into the whole scope of things. Here's a little briefing. I divorced my parents who were, I hate to say these things like this, but they were high ranking Masonic people that I ran away from, and I divorced them, legally emancipated myself. And the war was on when I first decoded their stuff at 12. And then all kinds of things happened in between then. Um, so I'll leave that there today. That's enough I have done. It's like, well, when new people come in a certain amount, and it would be hard to see everything I've talked about in the past. It's going on 6 years now. There's a lot of information in every video, and it's all pertaining to keeping the next generation safe from what they had set into play thousands of years ago. That's how far ahead their establishment is on the people. They say hundreds, no, it's thousands. Satan wanted to do it better way back when. This isn't anything new on his part of planning all this for all this time. Very long time. So, yeah. It's not just a matter of unraveling it, it's a matter of stopping it in its tracks wherever we see that, regardless. You know, if, well, I guess there are two sorts of people on this planet, whichever spirit they choose to carry. And whoever hides in the dark, it doesn't matter. The ones that are of the light will recognize each other. And I believe that's going to become more apparent this year than any other time we've ever seen. More and more, all the time, we will find each other, you know, no matter, and then we'll recognize the ones that were thrown in our path to try and deter us from making that connection. So I believe that's going to happen more and more this year for all of us. It has to. I mean, I recognize it already, and I had nobody to talk to about these things for decades. Absolutely, hardly ever anyone. And if I did, they all had their ulterior motives, you know. So, I mean, I found out if they knew anything that was deeper than the average person and they were talking to me, there was a Masonic satanic connection of why they were even in my life. And that part I was naive and didn't really get until later. In fact, I still have trouble getting that part, but proving that part, if it's true, is another story. And that's where I ask for God's help and the help of his angels and the saints and whoever, regular people doing the will of God, you know. So the Spirit of God works in everybody. So whether they do good by it or bad by it, you know. I'm going through some things right now that could have been as simple as an apology by somebody that was rude. You can't yell at people and try and teach them. I'm not going to be yelled at and just sit there and say I like somebody and think that I'm going. And also, when something I heard was wrong doctrine being that could harm my friends that were listening, that's when I decided to say I didn't like somebody. And I didn't like the yelling and then his approach, and I told him why, and I was crucified for it. So I don't care. That's who I am. That's what I do. And the people that don't appreciate that can take a hike because you're not worthy. And if you are, and I go over to your channel and you're live and we're having a good time, and somebody doesn't greet me and say hello because they're of a certain ilk, well, then that's not a problem. I will still laugh and have a beautiful day no matter what. So there's no, there won't be any issues like that on my part at all, ever. So, yeah, I have Doug revving his truck right outside my room. Okay. I think he's stuck. It's a little ironic, but that's all right. Maybe not. Okay. Anyway, nuts. But yeah, he might be coming in. I have no clue really what he's doing, but we'll just work through this. you know. yeah, I figured I had to get my exercises done, and so even buffering when I was on that live stream was okay because then that gave me an excuse to get off my butt and go do that, and then come back and get this video done and upload it. Hopefully it will. It, you know, if it's live, it's a little different than taking a video and even playing it back. If it's buffering, it'll always catch up. Or even if I'm uploading, it'll, even if it takes its time, it'll still get there eventually. So just to get it done. So, and then I did have Nestle Toll House chocolate chip cookies last night, and they were excellent. I didn't eat all the ones that would have considered mine, and they're all mine. No, but I left some, and I knew Doug would want them today. You know, he's like, "Oh no, I've had enough of them," and I'm thinking, "You liar." Yeah, yes, like that. It's like this morning the coffee's done. Oh, I haven't been drinking very much of that. I don't really need it anymore. And I thought, okay, walked out in about 15 minutes. He was pouring a cup of coffee. It's like, yeah, I knew that, you know. Not always so. He has been cutting down, but yeah. Anyway, life is a fiasco every day. Even if I don't talk about it, it's a flippin' trip. I think some of you are living with trippy people. If you're married and you're both watching me, stop looking at each other. You're okay. I wasn't talking to you. No. Or maybe I was. Wow. Okay, enough of getting that personal, right? Whoa. I scared myself there for a minute. God forbid I say what's on my mind. Mm, mm, mm. You know? Dang. That mouth of mine. There it goes again. Yeah, I cannot help it. No, I can actually. I'm very diplomatic, even if the delivery system is everybody gets what they need on their level. That's exactly what I do. And everybody's not all the same, and people learn differently. And I know with God in my heart how to talk to everybody. So I think people are just like that, you know. If I showed my true colors, I am so glad. Yes, I am. Whoa, that reminds me, I was watching a monograph last night. That's how he laughs. Um, oh, he was pissed off. Somebody actually threatened, asked for his address, and said they were going to come over to his 6 foot four, like 250 pound address and beat his ass. Monty would snap their neck, you know. Wow. But yeah, he was pissed. They baited him into it, you know. But I was feeling much the same way. It's like, you know, people can say anything on the other side of that computer, but what if I drove to your house and made you tell me why you don't like me right to my face? And then I could tell you right to your face whether I like you or not. You know, wouldn't that be cool? That's how Monograph is too, and he's not playing. So he's got lawsuits on people for everything they own just from slander. You know, it's not funny. Not when you have a reputation you care about. It's not funny at all. But I'm not here to go into that today. I'm here to bring in the new year with cheer, and that's the way that's going to be. Although we talk about some really heavy subjects around here, you know. So, narcissism in the world, lack of empathy, is actually the base problem in the whole world. It really is. Lionel Nation had a good thing. I haven't seen it yet, but the title of his video was he's also a musician. I mentioned that, but I wouldn't doubt he plays piano or something besides the guitar also. But he thinks also, like I do, that all schools should have mandatory music class, whether it be vocal training, like in choirs, or but instruments, learning how to play something musically, to read notes and that type, and timing and all that. It's a really good skill to open your mind. Um, I play several instruments. Probably the flute I play the best out of. I don't have it anymore. It's a long story. It's a sad story that I'm not going to go into. So anyway, but I wanted to be in the Minnesota Orchestra, but things did not work out for me in my life. So anyway, but yeah, and I play other ones: harmonica, drums, um, any kind of percussion instrument. Um, I could play the sax or the clarinet or any of them with a reed, because it's the same fingering as a piano or a flute, and I play a little piano and the guitar, of course. And I could name probably a few other, but whatever. The point is, I think that everybody should learn some type of musical ability in school, because it really does. It, in my school, we were so blessed. I mean, we even had a harp in our school. There wasn't any instrument from around the world that we didn't have. Isn't that wild? I'm serious. We even had a Tibetan brass bowl, different sizes, you know, right? Everything, you name it. Um, Bongos, conga drum, I mean, drum set, guitars, everything, you know, um, that the kids could find out what their musical, and I tried them all. They could find out what their musical abilities were, trumpet, cornet, um, oboe, bassoon, baritone, bass, whatever, everything, you know, violins, of course, and but and then to find out what you're good at or what you love, and that was incredible. It really was. We were blessed like that, but the only reason for that was because of the family that I grew up in, but whatever. So I was lucky to have probably a way better education than anybody I knew. So it's the truth. It's not even funny what's going on in the world right now. It's like I was telling people on that live stream in the 60s and 70s, they were telling us that we were going to have another ice age. Why don't they make up their minds? I sure wish they would. I know what Doug's doing. He ran over the kitty line for their water, their tank heater, with the tractor, and I knew he would because I wanted to put it in the air like I did for my horse. But he said it'd be okay, and I knew it wouldn't, but I knew this would be a bad day like that because that's the way people of a certain mindset have this thing, and it's their ideas, their control, their way. It's a weird thing, no matter what logic is involved out there in the cold with this truck by the door of the kitty house so he can see what he's doing. That's what's going on. I did break open their water and put some in there earlier. And they would have been okay, actually, technically, till in the morning. But it's always a good excuse to be a narcissist when you can be at any given time. I would highly recommend it if you want to be in the same place that the Baphomet, the wife inside his brain and body all mixed together like a bunch of pangenders running around not knowing and cannot define what a human is. You know? It's crazy how the Spirit of God or Satan can talk in us. Nobody can prove a damn thing. And the liars have become so skilled, it's hard to decipher what their craft is. But then you have to go to the base thing of everything. What's the ulterior motive of any given individual? Their core issues, their core of who they are and why they do what they do. And that's always the base thing. It isn't one love like that, because I'm not going to love somebody that cuts the throat of a baby. And that's the cabal we're dealing with is beyond cold. It has nothing to do with even having like a bitter heart or something. It's not even demonic. Does not describe it. Demonic could be the beasts that are made for these times, that walk that line that should never be crossed with the love of God. That line should never be crossed. So who's crossing it and why? Why? With every given situation that we're in, we have to ask ourselves in these times, what's in it for this person? You know, it's okay. They can question me too. Just don't attack me when it's unjust. You know, if you don't care if somebody else is in the wrong and you attack a person that's innocent, you're fucked, and I'm coming after you. So that's the way that is. I'm not being taken down by somebody that has lack of empathy for the whole situation. Won't happen. And God won't let it happen. I think somebody already kind of has a little bit of a hint of that, but maybe you need to see more. If somebody else knows who I'm talking about, you better go let them know. Every single thing out of for entertainment's sake versus what's real in the world, and how the importance of the dangerous times we're in if we're not acting as skilled warriors of God, putting our friends in danger from people's lack of seeing the amped up the things that are going on in the world are so amped up that the the push for people to be in cities. I mean, all the things that they're going to do these next coming years, I don't think people understand the severity of what's going on right now. Honestly, that's another reason why I'm going to share Lionel Nations. He's approximately the same age. We're like 6 months apart. I'm 6 months older. Approximately maybe 4 or 5 months, something like that. Let me see. Doesn't matter. Yeah, somewhere in there. But watching all our lives what these people have been doing and having a better education than most people, that we could document it for people in these times for your understanding and getting together with the people that I am networking with, for that intelligence in these times is really important for everybody. And well, that's all I can say. I just, there's a lot of heavy things going on. If you have links of, I mean, I don't need any advice on the Dark Cabal or what their crafts are at all. There's nothing they're doing that I haven't studied and prepared for, that God has not prepared me for. Not one thing. Even as far as seeing ahead of time in certain situations, if I ask for that. You know, pretty much what I ask. So I can't say it any differently. It's true. Do you need to see how true that is? I hope not. I've just been asking for some help. I mean, I've had where people I had talking to me, and it did cheer my day. I mean, they still watch me, but they're not saying anything because all the joy has been taken out of a group of people by somebody's cold actions. A set of brothers that won't see any fault on of their own at all. So, who's going to stand up for me and the truth? I want to see that. And why'd y'all stop sending me smiley faces, huh? I guess that kind of there is one. Well, there's a couple people. I won't say everybody. It's been a couple people that haven't stopped laughing with me every day, like I always do. And I think this person in particular felt the cold vibe as an empath in live streams that we were on, and maybe didn't, he wasn't going to say anything about it and probably still won't, but he felt it. I think a few other people do too, and I sure wish you'd speak up for other people because we had that love for each other. But I guess maybe it's meant to be. I don't know. It is sad though that I don't know, maybe I'm stupid. Maybe everybody's still laughing without me or at me, right? Yeah. No, I know I have people who love me. I just want to see who it is. So, okay, everybody. thank you for joining me. I'll talk to you soon, and I hope you enjoy Lionel Nation's video. It's about I think, an hour long or so. It's got a little bit of advertising, trying to make ends meet. You can skip over that if you want to, if you're like me and can't buy any of the stuff anyway. So. But anyway, thank you for joining me, and I'll talk to you soon. If some of all that didn't make sense, uh, ask God for understanding. That'll help. That's what I do. All right, everybody. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a good night or day wherever you're at.